I want to start by asking a question, hopefully thought-provoking, for a moment or two. That question would be, if you knew when you woke up today that tomorrow would be your last day, would you spend the time any differently? Would you spend time with family? More time with family? Would you expose someone to the gospel? Would you spend more time at work? Would you use the time to serve others? Would you worry about getting your affairs in order? Would you spend that time on selfish things or spiritual things? Well, the fact is we don't know what tomorrow may bring or what the next hour may bring. But we do know that life goes by rapidly, and preparation is a necessity for the child of God. In the Bible, we read of one who did know what the next day would bring, and we find that in John chapter 13. If you would turn over John chapter 13, we're going to read just a few verses from there. John chapter 13, beginning in verse 1. Now before the feast of the Passover, Jesus, knowing that his hour had come that he would depart out of this world to the Father, having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. Jesus got up from supper and laid aside his garments, and taking a towel, he girded himself. He assumed the servant's attire at this point. Then he poured water into the basin and began to wash the disciples' feet, and no doubt the feet of Judas, and to wipe them with the towel with which he was girded. Jesus knew what was to take place on the morrow. He was about to be betrayed by one of his own, falsely accused, beaten, his body shredded with a scourge, and then finally crucified on a cross for the sins of the world. But he took no time to consume his thoughts of that. At this particular time, he was concerned about his disciples and the lessons that he could still lovingly teach them. He was not consumed with his own well-being with respect to what lay ahead. Job 6 and 7, Job says, "My days are swifter than a weaver's shuttle and come to their end without hope." Fortunately, we do have hope. In verse 7, he says, "Remember that my life is but a breath." Our life goes by so fast. And if you're middle school age or high school age, you may not believe that yet. You may not realize that. But at 60, you will. You will understand that. I've been married nearly 40 years, and it's hard to believe that Shelley and I have been married nearly 40 years. That's a long time, and it went by like that. Life gets by really quick. And so, we need to take advantage of the opportunities, don't we? James chapter 4 says, "Come now, you who say, today or tomorrow we'll go and do such and such in a town and spend a year there and trade and make profit. Yet you do not know what tomorrow will bring. What is your life? You are but a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes." Jesus took this one last opportunity to teach his disciples to serve. He came to serve. And even though they didn't fully understand that, and Peter didn't even want him to wash his feet. So what can we learn from this short excerpt from John and from Job and James, well, we learn that life is fleeting. We need to make preparation. We need to be prepared. God has given us opportunity time and time again. And tonight you have the opportunity, if you are not in Christ, to put on Christ in baptism. Preparations have been made. You just have to make the decision. And that's up to you to make that decision if you've not put on Christ. Take advantage of the opportunities that God gives us each and every day. We don't know when that opportunity will come again because we don't know what tomorrow may bring. Though Jesus did, we don't. If you've not put on Christ, you have that opportunity now. And if you have, and if you've drifted away, make that right while you have the opportunity. God stands with his arms open wide. He wants us to make the right decision. He's made all the preparation. If you're subject to his invitation, we invite you to come to the front now.